All right, we're at the top of the hour, which means we are with Monmouth head coach Kevin Callahan. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Doing fine. Hope you're doing well. The Hawks had their first ever FBS game at Central Michigan, falling 31-10. Back on the road at Wagner on Saturday at 6. A long-time rival. If you can open up, talk about the CMU game and your thoughts on the effort against your first FBS opponent, and we'll start taking questions and talk about Wagner.
Well, sure. Our guys were very excited about, going out and playing our first ever FBS game. We're getting to the point now where we have the number of scholarship equivalencies where we can play one of those games, and it was a very, very good environment to play against an excellent football team, a very physical football team, and I thought that our guys rose to the challenge extremely well. I thought we matched them from a physicality standpoint. We got off to a little bit of a slow start and gave up some early scores, particularly in the second quarter. There was a period of time where they scored on some consecutive drives of big pass plays. But I thought our guys really settled in and did a good job. I was very happy with the way our front seven played, holding Central Michigan to 74 yards rushing. But we can't give up the big pass plays over the top, and that was something that plagued us Saturday. And it was a day, all in all, where, I think we're still, as a team, as a young team, we're making too many mistakes at critical times to get us over the hump. And while I think those mistakes are fixable, we got to get them fixed now. And we can't go any further with this. And, I think we've got enough good things happening. There's enough positives on both sides of the ball to build on. That we can be a good football team, but we're getting into week 3 right now. We haven't yet won a game, and it's time that we did. And there's this great sense of urgency with our football team this week. We're very focused on the mission in front of us and the challenge in front of us that Wagner will present. We'll be better to go. We'll be a better football team this Saturday, I think, than we were in weeks 1 and 2.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. At this time, we'll start taking questions for Monmouth head coach Kevin Callahan. And, Coach, while we're waiting on some questions for you, talk about Wagner and just you played them every year, I believe, of your existence, and just what the rivalry is and how they look on film.
Well, as you said, Mark, Wagner's a team that we've played in each of the 22 years that we've had football here. And because of the proximity, they're just 40 minutes away. There's a great rivalry here. And, a couple of guys on my staff used to coach at Wagner, myself included, years ago. So there's a high level of familiarity between the two programs. And I think, that leads to it being such a rival and such a highly contested game. If you look at the series overall, it's very even. We hold a 12-10 edge in victories, having won the last 2. But like last year's game, for instance, it went right down to the fourth quarter where we had to make an interception in the end zone in the final minute of play. And it seems like most years that's how the game goes. Wagner's 0-1. They opened up with a loss at Rice, but they had last week off. So they've had 2 weeks to prepare for us, 2 weeks to make adjustments and improvements over what they saw coming out of the Rice game. And they're always have been, and they're currently a well-coached team. So I'm sure they're going to be a vastly improved team when they take the field Saturday night. But it's a game that our players are excited about. They always look forward to playing this game, as do the players at Wagner. And it should be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, Coach, taking questions for Monmouth head coach Kevin Callahan. Again, star 1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link at the top of your browser and click raise hand. And just a reminder, all the listeners, please mute your lines to avoid background noise so we can hear our coaches clearly. Coach, Deonta Sayre, our freshman of the week, just talk about his play. Started both games. I think the only freshman starter this year, and Mike Vasile was the freshman starter last year. Just what have you seen out of the first 2 games out of him, out of his interception against CMU?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, he's a guy that's really made a very rapid transition to the college game. He was, when he got here on campus, he was here for summer school, and then as soon as we started the preseason practice, it was very obvious that he was a young man that was going to pick up things quickly. he has the maturity and the physical ability to play for us right away. And it seems like every day he became better and better and improved. And we put him in the lineup, and you don't always like to start freshmen anywhere, particularly on the back end of your defense. But he's been playing very well for us. And, this week, the conference recognized him as the Defensive Rookie of the Week. He had a very nice ball game, was in on several tackles, had a key interception to stop a drive of Central Michigan's. And he's a guy that's all over the field for us. He's a player very similar to Basile, or to what Basile was a year ago. We see a lot of the same characteristics in Deontay that we saw in Mike a year ago. So, he's a guy that we're very happy with so far, and he's still learning, though. He's still developing. There's times where he still makes those young player, those freshman mistakes, and hopefully we can continue to work those problems out. But he's going to be a very dynamic player for us in the future.
Very good. We do have a question for you, Coach. It's from Nick Pierce of the Liberty Flame Sports Network. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, good morning. I wanted to ask you about your quarterback. Do you feel like you've been able to get a good assessment of Cody Williams so far, given who you played?
We do. I think here's how I would put it, Nick. I mean, in week one, in his first ever college start, I really think that the game was still a little too fast for him. He rushed some things. He made some decisions that he probably shouldn't have made. And the thing was just moving too fast for him in week one. I think what we saw against Central Michigan is the game slowed down tremendously for him. He was much more in a comfort zone and played a much better football game. Now, he still has a ways to go. He's still developing. But, I'm happy the way he's trending right now and the way he's tracking. We're seeing that development in him. And, we knew he wasn't going to have all the answers and do everything perfectly his first time out. But the good thing about Cody is he's a student of the game. He's very serious about football. And he's showing improvement every single day. And he certainly did from week one to week two. And we're looking forward to another week of improvement as we head into this game.
Have you seen him show off his athleticism to this point? Was that the main reason that you went with him as a starter?
Well, I mean, he is very athletic. He runs the ball extremely well. There have been some glimpses where he's been able to run the ball and make some things happen with his feet. But that's only one of the reasons we went with him as our starter. Not only is he a very good athlete, but he's effective throwing the ball, and he's a very dynamic leader for a young guy. He's got a charisma about him that all of our players are attracted to, and they like being on the field with him, and they like playing for him and with him. And, he's got all the intangibles that you're looking for at that position.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep, thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. I'm not seeing any more questions in the queue. I will make one last call for those who wish to talk to Coach Callahan. Last call for questions for Coach. All right, hearing none, Coach Callahan, we'll let you go, but thanks for joining us, and good luck Saturday at Wagner.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mark.
All right.